Hey, good morning, everybody. AJ, the CEO here. We are in Lorton, Virginia at Shiloh Baptist Church to do an on-site. See, we're right here. Granted, we're early. An appointment is at 9, and it is 7:57. Got here early because just didn't know how the traffic was going to be. I'm tired, and I have a special guest with me today. I'm so excited. You can't tell how much I'm bubbling with excitement.
Hi.
Who are you?
I'm Ayana. Girl.
Who are you to this guy?
I'm his daughter.
Why are you whispering?
I'm not whispering.
Oh, well, sound off. Anyway, let's see what we can do to help him out. I'm gonna take a nap until everybody gets here. Yay.
Set up. A lot of this stuff is old. A lot of stuff is over the years been pieced together. And just trying to hang on. But I'd like to call it somebody.
Okay. So what's going on?
All right.
So folks, what we've done helped streamline a lot of stuff that they have here. A couple of cables were damaged. The output of this is damaged, so looking at probably they're gonna get a new mic for this. Right now it's coming out of a solo, a mixed, so these are not independent. A new mics will give them a dedicated mic so they can be controlled separately. They had a snake hooked up to here with a bunch of other stuff that was just redundant. They had a Focusrite hooked up to send audio to the live stream, but we were able to just run the cables directly from the out into the ATEM and connected the ATEM over USB-C to the computer, and then no need for the Focusrite. There's also some other damaged cables in here. So the Focusrite actually was moved here so that if the musician wants to hook up their computer or something like that, they would just plug into this, and then that would get the sound going into the system as well. Also, it looks like kind of like what we've done with a couple of other churches. They have two buildings, and the local ISP sold them on two internet packages instead of just consolidating. So the other thing, we're probably going to come back and unify them, and all of this stuff is going to go away. Humongous battery backup that's loud, no need for that. Get a regular UPS, maybe even the Unify tower for that. Put a UDM Pro in here, connect that, probably get two some nano beams so that we can run a line to the outside, beam the internet to the second part, their other building, run that to their other building that's right there. And this is straightforward. So maybe run a line in the ceiling, punch through out here, put one of those nano beams right here that can beam the internet there. Or we could run a fiber optic and just have it suspended in the air, because that's not really that far. The micro beam would be easier. We just mount that here, drill a hole here, put that here, put another one there, and then disconnect their internet over there and just run it off of one ISP account instead of two. The other thing they also wanted me to come back and do is put a 75 back here as a confidence monitor compared to the one that's here on the side. Maybe pull this one down and put that in pastor's office so that they can have a fee for them, and then just do a lot of streamlining of their stuff. We didn't add anything. We just got rid of a bunch of stuff that was just other stuff. Like they had this hooked up that wasn't doing anything. And it was mainly just because that was used just to convert XLRs, I mean, quarter inches over to XLR. Um, so just really streamlining a lot of stuff. Got to probably redo some of the wiring for them so that stuff is laying and giving some RF sounds and noises and things like that. But not anything really taxing. Um, just need to have give them some training and kind of reconsolidate a lot of the stuff that other people had set up. Introduce them to presenter as well too, so they can upgrade from using PowerPoint for putting their scripture and lyrics and everything like that up, instead of having to drag screens over and everything like that. Just really helping them out with getting their flow better with the flow of everything. But that's about it. I'm gonna write up everything for them. You know, we come back, we'll do some training with them, and I'll bring you back and we actually do the additional stuff. So don't have to do a lot of stuff, but just adding on to what they're doing to help make the flow a little bit easier, as well as train them on some stuff that they have questions about. So that's about it. I'll maybe jump to the computer, show you some of the stuff that we're thinking about, especially from a Unify side. And if we come through, I'll bring you along and we can show you how we install that and all the other stuff. Because we've done that at a couple of churches. This is probably like the seventh church where we consolidate and put some stuff in place so that one ISP is enough. There's no reason for a church to have to pay for two or anything like that. But anyway, let's go over to the computer and we'll design it and then we'll go from there. Alrighty, folks, we are back. It is much later in the day, but we want to just go through the setup of some other stuff. So, I would just say it's interesting just going back that all the stuff obviously kind of ties together. Originally, when I was doing these videos, I was just reviewing products just to review because I didn't, I made content where it was. But it's just interesting to see how this stuff comes full circle. So let's go ahead and just talk about originally what they have in place. So right now they have an ATEM Mini Pro, and what they're going to do is that's going to be upgraded. Well, actually, let me just put all the stuff together. I really don't know what is going on with their sound. I had my ATEM Mini Pro still in the back seat of my car. So I brought that in, we changed out cables, we did different wiring configurations to the amps, all this other stuff, and it just kept giving some really bad sound. So I really don't know what caused that, but pretty much they were talking about they're ready to move forward with doing some other stuff. So that's where this is going to be. So we're going to go ahead and design this out right now. To what they have, and then we'll show how we're going to make some modifications to this stuff and kind of give you an overview of what we changed as well too. And I need to do some research on their sound system. I have messed with the Persona Studio Live. Because another Shiloh Baptist Church uses that same configuration. They had the physical board. They said somebody else suggested that board and kind of changed a lot of stuff. So we got some research to do on how to separate the mixes and remap, because I think all of the outputs are mimicking the main out. And then just figuring out what in the world is going on with the sound. Why is it throwing so much static out to the ATEM? I don't know if it's wiring or whatever, but we'll suggest something else. So as of right now, they have we put the Focusrite back in place, the audio interface, which honestly is not needed, but that's the only way they got their sound to not have a whole bunch of static and noise for the live stream. So what we have here is something like this. So we've actually isolated one laptop, and we'll just say this is laptop 1, which is nothing but for Zoom. Then we also have a new presentation computer that suggested for them to go with worship tools for that. That is connected the ATEM, and we need to have another audio cable, a newer one, put in place so that audio from that, so when they play announcements or videos or something like that, that goes to their RM32 AI. They have the out going in here. We have audio from the mono channel, because I couldn't figure out how to get the routing on that. That's mono going out here. And then we have USB connecting here, because audio is clean coming from the Focusrite, but it still has some noise going into the ATEM, which doesn't really make sense. I really don't know how that is. So this is USB. Also, glad I had an extra USB cable because the ATEM was never updated. We updated that, and we have the USB. So they were using Zoom, and originally in Zoom, no one ever saw the video, but we've actually got that set up for them now. This is what they have, and they have a 1x8 HDMI splitter. And this really isn't that important, but a lot of times I'm using DaVinci Resolve's AI to clean up my audio, because for whatever reason, people on the road outside of my house, a couple of streets over, but I can actually see it, they just race up and down the road like crazy, which is actually similar to what happened at the old house I was renting. So I don't know what in the world was up with that. But anyway, they have a couple of televisions right now, 3 in the sanctuary, and then 1 in, I guess, the fellowship hall, if you want to call it that. I don't know what it was properly called, so I'm just going to call that for right now. Let's move this over some. And all of these are connected here. One more. So whatever is coming out, and then they also have another commuter monitor, and because it's the ATEM Mini Pro, it does not give them a true multi-view. So as of right now, come on now, that's connected here. So right now, that's their current setup. So what we are proposing is to come in here. This is going to be upgraded to an ATEM Mini Extreme. This will give them a dedicated out over here, so it'll be a true multi-view. And all the outputs will go everywhere. So we got, it's going to be sanctuary. Well, y'all can't see it. It's going to be, they want to add another television in the back, which is going to be a confidence monitor with the potential, that's going to be another one that's mimicking everything that you're seeing right now. But in the future, it's potential that this will be changed into a stage display. All we would have to do is take out the cable from the splitter and connect it to their presentation computer, so that I can have a dedicated out to be configured for the stage display. We're going to have to figure out what's going on with this, because ultimately what would happen is this Focusrite is going to go away. This audio, we're going to find out and make a live stream mix that I actually already made while I was there. That is going to be a mix that goes directly to the ATEM, figure out what in the world's going on with this. Maybe because SSDs are now getting tied into this, they're part of the chips that were eaten up. But with the ATEM Mini Extreme, have another USB out, so now it can record the service. We'll be able to do that. And that's mainly it. They're also going to add another mic because one of the mic systems was found to cause all that audio noise and everything like that, because I think it's the unit. Once we removed the unit, we didn't have any issues. So that's the main thing right there. Let me go ahead and save this. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is, let me bring this over here. Baptist Church, and this is in Lorton, and this is going to be the network. So just like some other churches, they've been bamboozled into getting multiple ISPs and accounts for the church. So we're going to consolidate that stuff. So they already have their modem. I need to see if that's one that they purchased or that's one that they're renting. If it's one that they're renting, we'll go ahead and get another one that they own. Then we're going to probably put in maybe the smaller one, the cloud gateway. And let me look that up so I know the exact one that I was looking at. We don't have to go with the UDM Pro. We could go with that if we can do the rack mounted one. I might price that out, but give them an option for it. But maybe go with the Cloud Gateway Fiber. That way, all the stuff that Cox is putting in place, we can just connect it directly to that instead. So the fiber connection here, so we can have that can be a WAN port. So we could hopefully be able to put that SFP directly in, take out the one that they're maybe renting, plug right into there and go from there. And then with this, we would just run this directly into the other existing network that they got. So say we add this and then we'll do some access points. But for our switching, instead of going something over the top, we can go with the Ultra, which is similar to the one that I have at home. We'll give it the 210 watt power supply, or maybe even the 60. I'm thinking the 240 just to give it what it needs. We can add one of these, and then for our access point, probably get a big access point for the sanctuary. We don't have to go overboard, but maybe a U7. That'll be more than enough, but we'll get 2 of them. I didn't go into the other building, so I'm just going to say 2 of these right now. One for the sanctuary, one for the overflow in the second building. And then we can get some of the smaller ones for just in the hallway. Or we could just get a third one and just put that other one in the hallway, or maybe in the or maybe put another one in the fellowship hall. But a smaller one like this will work with that. Put that light one in there, and then maybe have another one if we need to have some space. This might cut back, but that would give us enough to do their networking stuff. Now, the other thing to get the internet to that second building, and this is where I talked to about doing all those products that we've done back in the day. I have this nano beam that I used when I was doing games and stuff like that when we were doing out in the field and didn't have internet. Because the buildings are so close, almost could do the Loco one, the smaller one. And we can do 2 of these. And that way we can do our bridge to just beam internet there to the other building, so we don't have to run a cable there. And then on the other side, we'll probably have to do another switch, maybe another Ultra or something like that there, so we can power the access points there. Or it could go with something smaller if need be. because we need to be able to provide power to the Nano as well as power to there and connect to whatever. So maybe another one with here that would make that simple. And then hopefully we don't have to do new cabling outside of the networking. Now, another thing that I will add in place to this that I have not done before, but I wanted to use, and that is the Black Magic fiber connection. So this one will allow us to send a fiber cable between the buildings. So we could have the video coming, because they were also talking about when they watch a stream in the other building, they actually go to YouTube and just watch it. But we can run a connection that way over there, or we can just do the classic HDMI to SDI and then convert it back. And we just run a coax cable, a RG6 in between the buildings, and maybe put a pole in the ground or something like that to suspend the cable or something like that. Or because, maybe just make it really light and maybe bury it in the ground at a later time. Because there's two ways to do that. If we do that, they might not even use the Nano at all to beam the building. Maybe get like an underground outdoor Cat 6 cable to bridge both of the buildings together. Something like that. So in this scenario, we will say that was the cloud gateway. That will now connect into this here. And then we have the Ultra PoE. We'll just run a connection into the existing network that they already have. Don't need to just unify everything. If the stuff is working, you're fine. The controller will be able to control all the other stuff as well too. So not that big of a deal. But then we put our access points. So I don't like that. I'll just use a circle. So we got our access point. So it'll be one in the sanctuary, one in the fellowship hall. So those would be connected here. That would give power here. All right, and then in one of these connections, maybe if we did this, ran a cable, or we can do armored fiber optic cable. That could work as well too. And say this is the other one that's going over. So say we have one of those nanos here. That would run here, give this power. Then the other one we just mount on the building. And then we run that cable into the other switch in the other building. So these will connect to each other wirelessly. And let's make this a dotted line. So that'll be a wireless connection. So that'll be the Nano AC. Nano AC. So those will be connected wirelessly. So that's how the internet could be done here. Or we will bypass this and run a armored fiber optic cable over here, or a weatherproof outdoor Ethernet cable here. It all depends. I mean, because both of these in total, that's about like $110 for that. I would probably go with doing the cable as long as it can be buried, because we're going to have to run a cable anyway, that second, to get video back over there. So in this scenario, in that splitter, we would get a HDMI to SDI converter, run another line here from HDMI here. Then, this would be in the other building. We have another converter to convert that back. This is where we'd run an SDI cable here, a RG6. And then that would connect to the other TV that's in the second building. That cable could be buried. And like I said, if if we do that, I mean, that's going to be the way to do that anyway. Or like I said, we would just, you know, run a Ethernet cable, outdoor Ethernet cable here that would bypass this, but it would do the exact same thing. And then on this side, this is where we would kind of do the exact same thing. We would have either one access point or two, depending on how many are needed in that building. And then we can disconnect the second internet account that's at that building, and that will be shared. So that's it. And then, you know, we'll be doing some training with them because they were kind of, it was funny because they were showing me how they were getting everything working. And then after they showed me, I, you know, put a USB cable in place or did something and then just pressed one button, and they were like, oh my gosh, that is so much easier. That's what we try and do. Just make stuff easier for them. I mean, it's already going to be hard enough with all the technology that we're doing. We don't need to make it even more difficult. And I think in part of that, probably rewire a lot of the stuff in their sound system, because a lot of people just gave suggestions to people, or they reached out to other people who, I would say they had good intentions, but they might not have known the full ramifications of it. Plus, they also said the people that they reached out to who installed it, they tried to reach out to them to help them with some other stuff, and they became unresponsive. So, you know, you call me, we're at the point where we're going to get the stuff taken care of so that you don't have to call me back to get the stuff done. And especially with the weather being fixed up, I'm going back to a bunch of other places to finish up projects that the weather kind of threw off as well, too. But link is going to be down below to everything. And I still say this, even though they said they're going to move forward. If we get the contract, we'll take you along and show this whole process to just update everything that they're doing. And like I said, do a, if I didn't mention it, it will also be a 75-inch screen TV in the back. So that would be their confidence monitor. I did say that. So it sounds like a lot of work, but the most intensive stuff is going to be is running a cable into the pastor's office, running a cable, running it through the walls for the back TV. Then after that, hanging the TV, and now it's just going to be reverse engineering what everybody set up and put in place. If we do the nano beams, that would be very easy because I just got to let them point to each other, and it's not even 100 feet away from the building, so that'll be easy. Or even if we do the cable, we just hang it up in the air and put enough slack so that it can be buried, maybe put it in a PVC pipe or something like that. And you know what? I think I will do that. I'll just include like a PVC pipe and just run all the cables in that, and then they could just bury that, and that would be easier. Yeah, because we're still going to have to run a cable anyway to get the video over there. So that will probably be the best, and that's less than 300 feet. So that would be fine as well, too. But anyway, like I said, link is going to be down below to everything that we're going to be using this. And also, if you ever need any help, you can go to ajhomes.com/consultations to book a consultation with me to us to help out, figure out what's going on with your media ministry, diagnose it, train you, all this other stuff to get your stuff straight. And I think that's it. And I need to get off of here because these people are driving up and down the road like crazy. But anyway, folks, if you like this type of content, appreciate a like, consider subscribing, hit that bell, that way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ. Catch you on the next video. Later.